कनेक्शन में फोकस करते हैं आज के मैनेजमेंट पर, जहां आज बात होने वाली है श्रीराम प्रॉपर्टीज के टॉप मैनेजमेंट से। कंपनी का शेयर आज लिस्ट हुआ है बाजार में। लिस्टिंग के बाद कंपनी की तैयारियां क्या हैं, आगे की योजनाएं क्या हैं, इस सब पर चर्चा करने के लिए हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं कंपनी के सीएमडी मुरली एम और साथ ही ईडी और सीएफओ गोपाल कृष्ण जे भी हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। इससे पहले कि हम बातचीत का सिलसिला शुरू करें, श्रीराम प्रॉपर्टीज़ के बारे में आपको कुछ जानकारी दे देते हैं। श्रीराम प्रॉपर्टी जो है वो 2000 में शुरू हुई थी। कंपनी श्रीराम ग्रुप की एक कंपनी है और दक्षिण भारत के टॉप 5 रियल एस्टेट प्लेयर्स में से एक है। बेंगलोर और चेन्नई में इनका फोकस ज़्यादा है, हालांकि कोलकाता में भी इनका कारोबार है। नवंबर 2018 से लेकर अब तक ये 25 से ज़्यादा प्रोजेक्ट पूरे कर चुके हैं। दोनों ही मेहमान हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। बहुत बहुत स्वागत आपका 18 स्वदेश पर। गोपाल कृष्ण जी, आपसे शुरुआत करना चाहूँगा। लिस्टिंग हो गई कंपनी की, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आपको। अब यहाँ से आगे क्या नज़रिया बनता है? हाउ डू यू सी द ग्रोथ आउटलुक फॉर द कंपनी गोइंग अहेड?
We see a very strong growth outlook for Shriram. We are entering actually a new growth trajectory in our life. As you know, we used to be a million and a half square foot annual throughput company in the pre-RERA environment. Today we have stabilized around 3.5 million square feet throughput levels on an annual basis, and the company is built for 5-6 million square foot annual throughput capability. The market is presenting a huge opportunity for us with housing affordability at a multi-decade high because of low interest rates, stable prices, increasing purchasing power and fiscal incentives. Housing demand is very strong. Mid-market affordable has always been a better performing segment, and we have focused on it since inception. And we have built a very strong pipeline, 35 projects, 47 million square feet of development potential. So all these ingredients, I think, should come together to feed a very strong growth for us going forward. We have grown at over a 45% CAGR since RERA came in. Consistently over the last few years, we have grown very strongly. We see that growth momentum. Of course, it will moderate. In terms of percentages, it might moderate, but in absolute volume term, we'll continue to grow strongly as from current 3.5 million to reach our full potential over the next 2 years or so. So we see a very positive outlook.
Correct. So the outlook looks very positive. Mr. Murali, the question to you will be about demand. आप साउथ इंडिया के बहुत बड़े प्लेयर हैं, टॉप 5 में आपका नाम आता है. How do you see the demand coming up and festive season से पहले प्री बुकिंग सेल्स किस तरह की रही हैं?
Demand has been growing phenomenally, particularly COVID. Originally RERA has created new demand, and COVID has consolidated the demand. There is a big demand which we are witnessing across the markets where we operate, and it is going up further and further and further. So we see a tremendous potential for growth. We have built the capacity to do about 5 to 6 million square feet. 3 years ago, consciously we built. Now we have done about 3 to 3.5 million square foot in the last 3 years consistently. And in fact, I am going to focus on building the capacity for much higher volume, as I expect the demand is likely to be much bigger in the next 2 to 3 years time. Particularly due to consolidation for the branded players like us, it is going to make a big difference in the markets where we operate. We anticipate very big demand, and as an organization, we are well equipped and ready to take on a bigger opportunity.
Okay, so the demand also seems going up. Mr. Gopal Krishnan, could you also explain the synergies of having a development management model for your company?
Development management is actually an exciting new opportunity. It was Murali's vision a few years ago that there was a big opportunity for branded players like us when the industry was consolidating. Therefore, he consciously built capability and bandwidth, as well as he has focused on pioneering this new model, the development management model in the southern Indian markets, and we have now successfully stabilized that. It's an end-to-end solution strategy for landowners, smaller landowners and other developers. where they are not able to do on their own in the post-RERA environment. So we provide them end-to-end solution right from product design, development, launch, sales, collection, construction, and handover, all in the brand name of Shriram, as if it is our own project, though the project assets and liabilities remain in the balance sheet of landowners. So we see a good potential for that, especially because currently the smaller developers and landowners are looking for big boys to handhold them, and the big brands are only selling in the market, and therefore this model is here as a scalable, sustainable, and a profitable model. It's a high margin business, being a fee income. Other than employee costs, allocated manpower costs, everything else flows through the P&L, and therefore it will be a margin and return enhancer for Shriram as well going forward. So we are very excited about the development management model, and we have de-risked it to a large extent by taking control of all aspects of the project.
Mr. Murali, your company mostly has independent contracts, as per we understand. What kind of risks do you associate with this kind of setup? And we would also like to understand what is the average duration of these agreements that you make with these independent contractors?
We as a developer, our primary focus is on development and development management process overall. So that is where we need to have the strength, and these contractors, we engage very reputed contractors, so they take care of the construction related issues, whereas we have a very strong project management team, we have got a very strong value engineering team, we have got a very strong product development team. So our focuses will be on development, while we share, like long ago lawyers, every corporate had in-house lawyers. Today are chartered accountants. Today most of which have been outsourced. Construction is a very specialized one, so most of the successful developers have been outsourcing the construction to third-party contractors, so it has been doing good. For typical life cycle of the project, depends on the size. Let's say if it's a mid-size of about 1 to 2 million square feet, it's about 4 years time. So we have engaged good contractors who have been associated with us for longer period of time. So far, everyone has been doing a fantastic job in delivering a product on time.
Correct. Mr. Gopal Krishnan, another question that comes to mind is what exactly is the average ticket size of the flats that you sell? And the number of people that are buying these days, are they high-end flats or average flats? That is what we would like to understand. And also, how are the realizations looking?
So we are actually primarily mid-market and affordable player. Our mid-market products are typically the ticket sizes between 40 lakhs to 80 lakh rupees. Sub 1 crore is the max that we can think of in any of our products. So most of them are in that cluster. In an affordable product, we would be anywhere between 25 and 40 lakh rupees. And so that's our entire range of product ticket sizes. From a realization perspective, we have been actually moving up on the revenue realization curve over the last 3-4 years. We used to sell sub 4,000 rupees a square feet 3-4 years ago. Today we are in the 4,600, 4,700 rupees for constructed apartments per square feet. And so we consciously moved up the price curve in your recent projects. And the endeavor will be to keep moving up the pricing curve. As Murali said earlier, market is also ripe, and we would try to move up the price curve. From a overall average realization, therefore, we see a positive bias over the next couple of years.
Right. Could you also give us the segment revenue breakup, say city-wise or project-wise?
So we have only one segment, right? Residential. We don't do meaningful commercial or any other aspect. So when I said 4,600, 4,700 for constructed apartment, that's the only segment that we have. The only other product that we have is the plotted development products, where we sell anywhere between 1,800 to 2,400. That's 1,800 to 2,400 rupees per square feet, and that's for a plotted development because that's just a plots. So these are only two products we have. As a segment, we have only one segment we have in the company. And the realizations by region wise, if you look at, Bangalore and Chennai have similar characteristics. They are the 5,000 rupees average pricing market. Kolkata will be a lower price, primarily because that's the market affordability or pricing power of the market. We sell in our Kolkata, we sell our average ticket size will be 3,750 rupees for a mid-market product, and affordable product will be slightly lower than that. And there the cost aspects also are lower. So margin wise, across regions, we aspire or tend to work towards mid 20% EBITDA margins. That's fundamentally irrespective of the cities that we operate.
Correct. Mr. Murali, we have seen that during COVID times, many companies have seen supply chain issues. I'm sure your company would also have faced such a situation. What is the kind of impact that is expected because of that?
Supply side, we have mobilized for the next 3 to 5 years of supply today. We have a portfolio about over close to 50 million square foot portfolio. Next 3 to 5 years of supply is fully equipped. We need to just release the projects as we keep progressing. While on this, we are getting a lot of other opportunities also from other stressed developers, other landowners or institutions. So we are also getting lots of opportunities in that. So I don't see a big pressure at this point of time on supply.
Okay, so the supply looks perfectly fine. Mr. Gopal Krishnan, we have seen that the raw material prices have also gone up and the building material cost has also gone up. Do you plan to increase the prices of your project anytime soon, or with the current demand you see that the pricing will be stable? And what kind of impact would you see on the margins going ahead?
So as I said earlier, margins, we see very stable margins at the EBITDA level. Our operating margins will be very stable. Not just for us, for the sector as a whole, I think should be very stable. The cost decreases, yes, are there, and the pricing is also moving up as we spoke a few minutes ago. So I think there may not be a direct one-to-one straight pass on, but overall pricing power is improving. Combination of several factors. Sector has not really seen a big price increase over the last couple of years. Purchasing power has moved up, and obviously the demand conditions are very strong, and it's a very typical of any consolidating industry where the pricing power of the larger players tend to move up gradually. We therefore see a very stable margin environment going forward.
Correct. One final question, sir, about the industry outlook. How do you see it going ahead, and what lies ahead for large realty players, especially in the south where you are one of the biggest players?
Yeah, the overall outlook for the sector is extremely positive. As we said earlier, overall housing affordability is at a multi-decade high, and therefore demand environment looks very positive, and industry is consolidating. Therefore, larger branded players is the theme which is going on in the market and in the consumer's mind as well as the developer's mind, and therefore large branded players will continue to grow. And mid-market affordable has always been the better performing segment in the residential space, and therefore, and being an end-user driven market, it provides a stable demand, lesser volatility, and therefore much better space. And having specialized in that, or having focused on it for the last 20 years, we believe we will have a very strong positioning in the marketplace, and therefore we see a very, very positive outlook for us over the next couple of years. And this trend might continue much longer in the longer term outwards.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now Swadesh. Mr. Murali और Mr. गोपाल कृष्ण बताते हुए यहाँ पर किस तरह कंपनी की योजनाएं आने वाले समय में है। हमने देखा आज लिस्टिंग हुई श्रीराम प्रॉपर्टीज़ की। लिस्टिंग कुछ कमज़ोर हुई, करीब 10-12% नीचे, फिलहाल 20-22% डिस्काउंट पर हुई थी, और फिलहाल भी ये करीब 14% नीचे दिखाई देगा आपको 101 रुपये के आसपास आज की नई लिस्टिंग। चलिए फोकस कुछ और कंपनियों पर करते हैं।